Welcome to the Tactics Talk for Liverpool at home. Sam, back to the KP after it feels like quite a few weeks off with the international break and then Brighton. But what do you kind of say? Because we honestly could be relegated before we even kick a ball against Liverpool.
Yeah.
It is going to be a hard one to kind of predict because, again, it might completely change after Saturday at 5 o'clock. Once Wolves have played and once West Ham have played, the team could be completely different. It could be a lot more youngsters. It could be different. But what's your take on this game? Because, like I say, we could still be relegated. We could be relegated before we kick ball.
Yeah, it's probably the worst time to play Liverpool.
And they could. I think they could be champions as well. If it goes their way.
There's a lot riding on it. I mean, the season was done way before that. We were going into this game. You know, it wasn't the time to do it against Brighton. It's definitely not the time to try and do it against Liverpool. I think technically the only way we step now is if we win every game and Wolves lose every game, and we have to have like a goal difference we have to score 30 goals, I think, in those 6 games or something to make it work. I think most fans have just accepted it as what it is. I mean, Liverpool are probably going to be crowned champions on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get some comments on once they come in, but Sam, we'll get into the goalkeeper then. What's your take on this goalkeeper position? Do we do Hermanson in goal, or do we try and go for someone like Stolisic? I want to put Stolisic in.
Again, I don't even know what to say, really. Does it matter much?
Doesn't really matter at all. But again,
I still think we're going to be trying to flog Hermanson. So
what if we were saying we're preparing for the championship now? Like, I feel like maybe
I don't think we
can
last
couple of weeks.
No, but Ruud's not going to be here, so we're not going to be planning for the championship. Again, that's just my opinion. I think quite easily Ruud's going to be sacked.
Are we both saying that Stolisic probably will be their first choice next season?
No, I don't think he will be first choice if Hermanson's still here.
Do you really think he will still be here?
Well, unless he starts to pick up performances, no one's going to sign him. We bought him for 10 million.
Would, even if he is.
The only team that's in contention is if Enzo at Chelsea, because again, there's no guarantees. I'm pretty sure that there's a good chance Enzo could get sacked at the end of this season for Chelsea because they're sat, 7th or 8th? You know, that's not good for them. That's not what they wanted. They brought in Enzo to the Man City style, and they're doing just as much as they did prior seasons, if not worse. So, again, that all depends if Enzo's still at Chelsea. Apart from that, I don't think many people are going to be... I don't think many people are going to want to buy him for what we probably want. We probably say, yeah, you can for 30 million, and other clubs will go, no, he's not worth that. You've just been relegated. We'll give you 20 million, and knowing us, we're quite strict on how much we get, for the players. So for me, I'd start Hermanson.
Okay, we'll put Hermanson in there,
just because I think we're trying to put him in the shop window a little bit more to sell him. I think maybe the first half of the season is a guarantee that whatever happens this season, Hermanson is, on track to be the best player of the season. And since coming back from his injury, since Ruud took over, it's not really been the case.
Yeah, we'll move into the left back and right back in. I think for me, I'd stick with the left back in Luke Thomas. Again, he did make an error against Brighton. He did pull someone's shirt to get a penalty. But again, I can't see him being as bad as what Christensen for me has been over the course of this season. So for me, Luke Thomas goes back in. Do you agree?
Yeah, again, it's fine by me, Thomas. Like I say,
again, will he be the first choice left back in the championship?
I don't know. Again, we're going to have a very good team in the championship, or it should be on paper.
Tony says we could put 2 goalkeepers in goal and we still won't keep a clean sheet. Probably not. So yeah, Thomas left back, right back. Me, I'd go Royo Koulibaly. Probably won't happen. JJ's probably the man in the goal in the right back spot. What's your take on it? Or do you maybe put Ricardo Pereira there?
Again, I would probably put Justin out of everyone. I think as much as people would like to scapegoat him at the start of the season, and there was, trust me, some issues from him, but there was issues from everyone in the back. I think actually since Ruud's come in, he's probably been one of the least problematic issues in our defence, and he's played almost majority of games under Ruud. Pereira, again, nowhere near the team. Koulibaly, nowhere near the team. is what it is. I mean, Pereira, I assume you want to put him in an inverted back role, but it doesn't really work back four and Justin. So to speak, should really be, 3 centre backs.
Yeah, I get you.
With the left back, again, if you're going to play that role, which is Enzo's style, which I genuinely don't think suits the players.
I don't think it's just Enzo's style. There's a lot of modern managers now that are in that sort of role.
But... Not to the same effect with the inverted midfielders and that. I don't think many teams have really done much of that. I also don't think it works. For me, I wouldn't play inverted, central mids. Not in the Premier League anyway, but it's a different story, isn't it? So
yeah, I think before we bring Terrence's comments, you can both see that we're both a bit deflated about talking anything Leicester City. Terrence does come in and say, when we're officially relegated, do we get rid of him and start a rebuild now? Apparently, it's the cheapest to get rid of him when we're down. We spoke about this a bit today before we went live, saying about what's the situation, what do we do? I personally say keep him and give him a few games in the Championship. Sam is completely on the opposite, saying get a new manager in.
Well, he's the worst manager we've ever had, mate. So I don't know how you can really have a content for him to be in the Championship. Different league completely.
In my opinion, it's a reset in the Championship.
I don't think it can be a reset. Put yourself in the mindset of if we kept Rodgers and went down with him and kept him in the Championship, we would all say it's a toxic move. It's not the right move. The players don't want him there. Majority of the fans don't want him there. Again, you're going to hold Cooper to the same accountability of we don't want him. The players didn't want him. I think you've got to hold Ruud for the same accountability and listen. Not many people are happy with him. He's got to go. And Terrence's comment, cheaper when we're down. Yeah, when we're officially relegated, he'll be sacked, mate, because that's what Southampton have done. That's what we're doing. Once it's officially confirmed that we are a Championship club for the next season, we will sack Ruud van Nistelrooy because it'll be cheaper to get rid of him. Because he's probably signed a contract that's, if we get relegated, your buyout clause is 50% less. Like Southampton have done with their manager, they've implemented the exact same thing, sacked him the next day. I expect us to. I don't think it'll happen before the Liverpool game, even though we could be relegated before the Liverpool game. Bank holiday Monday, some news that he could get sacked. And I hope so. I hope he does get sacked, to be honest with you. I don't really want to say that about a manager. But for me, I just don't think he's going to suit us at all in the Championship. I don't think the players like him either. Again, I know it's just a bit of hindsight. I'm not really got any facts on that. But I think you can look at it from an outside point of view. For me, Ruud is just, he is not good enough. He is not a manager, not at this level. And I don't think...
we'll answer this question a bit later. We'll get into the defence and the two centre-backs. Sam, who are you putting as your back two?
Probably pretty obvious. Akoli is going to take one of the spots.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We've just got some teas here. Yeah, there we go.
Koulibaly is one of the centre backs.
Koulibaly or Akoli?
Whatever his name is.
Akoli.
That's it.
Not Koulibaly.
Because you were saying Koulibaly earlier.
Yeah.
My head's frazzled.
Akoli.
Akoli in there. I mean, the biggest reason is he scored a goal and I think that's the most passion I've seen from any player in the 3 or 4 years of playing for Leicester City.
Yeah.
Even when, under Rodgers towards the end of the season and last season, I don't remember seeing anyone have that much passion about a goal. Never mind a goal to get a draw in a team that's just about to be relegated. So fair enough to him. Hopefully, he's looked like a decent player at times, and confidence is up there. And again, I'm going to say under Cooper, look way better. So in the Championship, it should be good. But, we're going to have 5 or 6 centre-backs again, which is only bad for the books, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll choose Akoli. Left centre-back.
I mean,
who played against Brighton?
I think Cody.
I think it was Cody.
So, again...
he was the one who let the penalty in, yeah.
So, Cody again, I guess. Again, another one of these players where... In hindsight, not even that. He should be doing better than perhaps what he has been doing. Maybe age is catching up. You never know. I'm happy with that. Again, I don't expect much against Liverpool, to be honest with you.
Shall we as much as it's ruining the point of the game of picking your team? Is this going to start to be the exact same team as we picked for Brighton, or are we actually going to make a change here?
I mean, I can't remember that. Did I do the Brighton one?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did
it on Friday.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one.
So do you know what? I'll put my midfield in, and I'd say Ndidi and Ricardo Pereira. Are you agreeing?
Did Pereira start against Brighton?
didn't.
Who
We
started?
put Sumari, but that's who we put in there.
Yeah, okay, so Ndidi and Pereira then. Samara is definitely not in my team.
I don't think he did too badly against Brighton, to be honest, but
We've got a point, but I think people said, but when Ricardo came on,
Yes.
we looked 100 times better.
Yes.
So I think that kind of says it.
Surely, after 3 games of being on the bench, he has got to be fit enough to play now.
I don't think it's a fitness issue. I think it's a Ruud issue. I think a lot of these things, like Koulibaly, I think Koulibaly's one that, again, I think Ruud is probably a really stubborn person. I think he's really trying to prove a point with a lot of his things. Koulibaly, I think he's been shafted because Ruud's proving a point of I'm not going to play the only player that he brought in January. I think he's he's thrown his back to the wall, and he's probably been pushed by the club a bit, and you can hear it in his press conference. He doesn't care. I don't think he cares. Maybe just some vanity points really now. I mean, sure, you'll probably find when we get relegated officially, we'll end up winning 5 games in a row. Because the players are not playing with anything on the line, it's just what it is now.
Yeah, fair enough. Left winger then. We saw someone do some actual work and in the team for once this season, and he's obviously scored a goal. Do you see him back in the team this week against Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, as much as he probably had the highest ethic against
probably
Brighton,
his best game this season, and that's saying something.
He also is probably prone to be the least productive player on the pitch as well when he's not feeling it.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's Damari Great 2.0, at least his attitude-wise. When he's playing well and he's managing to take on the defenders, and I wouldn't even say much credit to him. Brighton were rubbish as well. Their fans were not happy with the result, were not happy with the way they were playing. But Mavdi did what he needed to do. Yeah, he goes back into the team. Again, he's probably going to be on the team sheet next season in Championship. So, fair enough. See what he can do. Maybe he's not been given much chance. I think the managers have just been wrong for the team we've got. I think if Fatu was fit as well, I think both left winger and right winger. Well, I think we said under Rodgers, like Barnes at the time, he was useless. We were not using him right. We were trying to be way too defensive when probably, and we said it this season, our biggest strengths has been Mavididi and Fatu when they're fit and playing and doing what they need to do up top. Never really gave them the chance under Cooper and Ruud. They both have been getting it wrong, I think, in the attacking department.
Yeah, fair enough. Right wing, we saw Casey McAteer come back into the fold after not being even in the team for 3 or 4 weeks. I wasn't too impressed with him. I get the point of he is an academy player, isn't he? If I'm not mistaken. So he does his job. He gets what he can do. Like I say, he's like an all-Brighton sort of player. He puts the shift in, but I don't think he's to the Premier League level. And in the team that we played against Brighton, I think it did work because we had 2 out-and-out wingers. So our only real choice is McAteer.
I've not got an issue with playing McAteer, personally.
I don't think there's any issue about playing him. I just don't think he's to the quality we need him. But right now, we are going back down. So
yeah, give him some game time. Again, it's one of those things where we've got a lot of players in the right position. A lot of players in the wrong positions, and not enough in the positions we need. Such as a strike force,
I think we didn't. Sorry to confirm, but didn't we mention at the start of the season when we were buying players that we really needed another right winger? I know we had Fatu, but we had no one to replace.
Well, we did bring a right winger in, and that was Ayew. So,
I guess.
Well, that was the solution. He was that.
Yeah.
A lot of players that Cooper did bring in was this positional players. They weren't limited to right. Like Ayew was a left winger, right winger, and a striker. Bobby Reed, attacking mid, central mid, left wing, right wing. Those are the players that were brought in clearly for the, I guess, systematic value of we're not going to have enough money to buy enough players, so we're going to have to bring in people that are at least somewhat decent in different positions. And for me personally, I think if you play, even if you had Ayew and Bobby Reed in Championship, they both do enough for us, especially from the bench. I think next season we're going to have enough players. Because let's be honest, no one's going to buy them. No one's going to buy Mavididi, Fatu, Ayew, Reed. Then none of them are going to get signed. McAteer potentially could go. We got an offer for 10 million for him in the summer. In the January, from Sunderland. We should have took it if you ask me. And they probably would have been the right move. But again, academy value. I mean, could it come back to bite us potentially, because 10 million from an academy player is pure profit?
Yeah.
There's no sell-on fees or percentages from another club kind of thing. It would be a pure profit from an academy player. But as much as that says, he was actually probably one of the better players in the Championship in those first 10 games last season before he got injured. He was scoring a lot, was quick. So hopefully, if we have him for next year, he can give Fatu a run for his money. Because,
I think it'd be hard. But,
no position's guaranteed. I don't think it should be hard. If McAtee's better, then McAtee's better.
What we saw of Fatu last season.
Fatu's been injured all season, though.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. He could be a completely different player now, but
it's happened to.
I don't think it'd be very hard
because those two
McAtee to take his
midfielders
spot.
you've got right now, since they both had a countless amount of big injuries, they're both shadows of who they used to be.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
it happens.
Midfielder then, central attacking midfielder. Buonanotte is back in contention after not being able to play against Brighton. I'm a bit undecided because, like we've known, El Kanou's put a good ball in for Coley's goal. Again, he's not done too much this season, like stat-wise, but I think the quality's there, like skill-wise in a way. But who do you start? Like one of them's not going to be here.
Well,
next
yeah,
season.
that's my logic now. Earlier in the season, I would have said you play the better player, which was Buonanotte. Again, I've said it quite a lot, but hats off to Ruud for making him one of the best players in that team to one of the worst players in the team. I don't know what he's done to him. I think, it's a shame that we've done that to him. El Kanous is going to be here next year, so, you might as well play him, give him game time.
I think you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Well, no one's going to buy him, mate. So
I'm not.
I'll give you 50 quid if someone signs him, because it's not.
Are we doing that?
I'll give you 50 quid if someone signs him. It's not going to happen, mate.
I can have just a free 50 quid here.
And no, you have to give me 50 quid.
No, you did not say that.
Those were the rules. Terence can agree with me on that.
I shook, and you said
it's on Terence. Look, he's watching. We'll answer his question.
All right, Terence likes me.
Do you like him enough? I think it's a 50-50.
I think it's not.
If he gets sold, I'll give him 50 quid. If not, he owes me 50 quid. We'll leave it on Terence in the chat.
Yeah, we'll leave it on Terence. If he's still in the chat, we'll leave it on Terence, because from it sounded the way you said it, it was, I'll give you 50 quid if he goes.
We'll leave it on Terence.
We'll leave it on Terence. If he doesn't say anything, it doesn't matter.
If it doesn't say, then it's null and void.
Yes. We'll leave Terence to it. Come on, Terence, come back. Oh, Terence, don't do that. Don't do that. Just say yes or no.
Make it 50-50, Terence.
Terence,
please.
Terence likes me. He goes on my bus. He knows what to do. Terence will say it's 50-50 to me and nothing if it doesn't go for
Delete his comment and ban him then.
Yeah. Go on then, striker.
Yeah.
Is there only one option? Is there any two options? We put Edouard in the team against Brighton because we thought, why the hell not? Do you know what? We saw Jake Evans at Brighton. I want to stick him in there. What's the point? Let a youngster play against champions of England this year. Why not? In my opinion. Are you going to play Vardy?
I mean, again, it doesn't really matter who played. That none of them are making much of an impact up front.
I personally think he's going, he says. Doesn't really help us though, does it?
You can put Evans up there again. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Say it's not but I think he will go.
I don't think he will. I mean, who will sign him?
I think there's a chance.
How much do you think he goes for?
20, 30 mil.
We signed him for 20 mil, so we're not going to sell him for that.
But again, it's just the fact that I think he is Premier League quality. Just
for who though? Because Schmodix, and again, I keep bringing up the player that costs 8 million and it's almost 30.
And I think even someone like Phil would agree with me in saying that El Kanous probably can be a Premier League quality player.
He has potential. He's not shown that this season. Though.
But he's in a team that's in a relegation team.
Yeah, but he's not shown potential.
If he's in around, but I'm not saying he's anywhere.
Harvey Barnes was in a relegation team. James Maddison were in a relegation team.
Hey, I'm not saying this.
They both got goals and did what they needed to do.
I'm not saying this because he's anywhere near the level. I'm just saying that if, for instance, De Bruyne leaves and he goes in that role, the players around him, he could probably have the better players around him to create more. I'm not saying he's the same level. I'm just saying someone.
So you're saying
like a Grealish going? It's like a Grealish going to Man City. He gets better players around him, and he creates more from having better players
Grealish
around
has not played and done nothing for Man City.
Maybe so.
No, not maybe so. It's a fact. How many games has he played for Man City? since leaving Villa. He's been there 4
He
years.
scored against us. That's the main thing.
That was his first goal in 15 months.
Right, striker Jake Evans.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's even on here, but we'll try. He should have because he had a game. No, of course he's not. Let's just put someone else. Evans. We'll just put Johnny Evans up front. Why not? Do you think he will loan out some of our high earners? Who's that?
Yeah, who isn't that? I think.
Or who is that? Because I'm trying to think of it. Who? Like, they're all high earners. I'm saying who would
high earner?
who would you loan it? I don't think you'd loan any of these.
Samari's a high earner.
All these players would probably.
It depends on the deal. But they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. That's the issue because Samari's not going to be sold. No one will sign Boubakary Samari because of his wage. Nobody will take him. Nobody will say.
Didn't someone take him the year when we went down?
They loaned him in. They didn't sign him.
No, I know. I'm saying we could still loan him.
You could loan him.
He probably won't want to be in the Championship.
You're still paying some part of his wages unless it's a full 100% you pay his wages deal, which is very rare. Most clubs will not take on those players unless you're Leicester. So I think Edouard is on 100%. We're paying his wages.
Yeah.
But in most clubs will be like, well, we'll do 50-50 loan. I mean, because again, usually you don't loan out those kind of players. You know, Samari's that kind of high earning player that he shouldn't be needed to be loaned out. He should be doing okay. In the Championship.
If he wants to be in the Championship.
Well, he doesn't.
It's all like Christiansen didn't want to be, or
the issue is you loan them out. I don't know. I think we will probably loan out a few of them. But if you ask me, it's wrong because they're on such high wages, and unless we're loaning them out for 100% salary, then it doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, even if we do loan them, someone like Samari, it's another year on his contract just whittled down, and he's not even at the club. It's another year of wasted money from the club because we did have to sign him, and it all goes into consideration when eventually these players, if we don't sell them, they'll run the contract down.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's where we're going to leave it. Obviously,
we'll answer Terrence's question about whose favourite is obviously about if Ruud gets sacked, which I imagine he's going to. Again, I don't personally have a favourite at the moment. But I just know that I don't want to stick with Ruud. I don't want to keep him in the Championship. I put it in the same vein as Rodgers. It was very toxic in that last season under Rodgers, and I think if he stuck it out and we kept him and we said, well, he's good enough because he is probably good enough for the Championship. Rodgers definitely, he would have been, is what I'm trying to say.
I think we got rid of Rodgers enough time to try and stay up.
I mean, that is also...
That was a difference, in my opinion.
I think a lot of fans said we left it too late.
We did leave it too late, but we still left enough time to keep it up. Whereas now, in a position we were in, like, even 5 games ago, it was still near enough. Very hard to bring anyone in to keep us up.
Yeah.
We were still 10 points off by then. Like, that was still a very, very big job to do for anyone. So, I think now it's like we said, when we officially get relegated, he probably will go. I'm just saying I'd rather keep him than get someone else in case it's not happening.
Personally, I don't like that. For me, I think he's ruined a lot of things. I think he's not.
He probably has, yeah.
I think he's given up. I think the club probably let him down in some aspects, and he's given up as a manager. I don't think the players like him. I don't think many fans like him. I do think he will go as soon as we're officially relegated, but which obviously could be pre-Liverpool game. But I don't think we're going to 100% confirm it before the Liverpool game, or we might do. I don't know. When do Wolves play? Is it Saturday?
Sunday. I think.
Yeah, so I doubt it. I mean,
we could kick off against Liverpool.
So he's obviously not going to be sacked pre that because it has to be mathematically.
They kick off at 2 and we kick off at 4, so they can finish.
He'll be there for the Liverpool game, but if things go again not in our favour, he's going to be sacked.
He definitely won't be sacked before the game.
No, it's way too cutthroat to do it then. But
imagine that.
Well, I don't expect much from Liverpool, but I do expect him to be sacked, and I think he deserves to be sacked after the way he has played. Honestly,
You're not going to give him a clap to say bye then, though?
No. Again, he's come in, he's took his money, he's walked. It's the easiest $2 million he'll ever earn. However much we'll have to pay him, it's the easiest money he'll ever earn. I wish I could do it because no offense to him, it's not just down to him. It's not just his fault, but he's given up, and I think his attitude and mentality. We had a chance. He lost 10 games in a row, and we still had a chance. We were 3 or 4 points behind Wolves. we still had a chance when he lost, the 8 or 9 games in a row, and nothing changed. We still rinsed and repeated the same cycle, and it kind of is what it is. The club have just had a shambolic season as a whole. Players, I think it's shown obviously with FFP issues at the start of the season that they're on way too much money and they're not good enough. I mean, like I said, you can look at some of these players that are on the pitch now. Cody, 80 grand a week. What's his face? Winks, falling out. He's not even in the team, not even on the bench. 80 grand a week, if not 100 grand a week. One of the players that we signed, either Cody, Vestergaard, or Winks, is on 100 grand apparently a week in the Championship, from the rumours. Look at some of the others. Akoli, he's probably on 40, 50 grand a week.
I think he's only on 20, to be honest.
I'm not so sure.
I think he is quite low for him.
Pereira and Didi, they're both on 60, 70, 80 grand a week. Mavadidi, I think he's fairly low earner. El Canus, I don't know how much he is. McAteer, again, probably not massive earner. Hermanson, massive. There's players on the bench, Jamie Vardy, who will earn a lot. Vestergaard, definitely earning a lot. It's just, and all that money, it gets translated in, well, you've got £1.5 million to buy Koulibaly in January transfer window, and it's like, well, should we just bend over now then and accept us getting relegated?
You can do that if you want, mate. You can do that if you want.
I think the club did.
Yeah. That's where we're going to end it then, guys. Again, as you can see here, make sure to watch the Fox's Focus tonight with Jono. I think Simon is away, but we'll have someone else join them, I think. Again, you've got Jamie's show, Aftermath show on Sunday. I'm guessing it's 10 o'clock now the pub is open. And then again, I think, if I'm rightly saying, Phil is doing his show on Monday, on Easter Monday. So it's just giving me a thumbs up. So there we go. So we'll get everyone's views on that show as well. So get your views in, get your comments in, and we'll catch you all on the next show. See you in a bit, guys.